This is ABC 7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story this evening, a federal judge rules Florida's process for restoring felons' voting rights is unconstitutional. A possible fix for the broken system is now in the works.
That ruling comes as the movement to reject Florida's rights restoration system gains momentum, the state taking up the issue on November's ballot. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from the Sarasota County Jail to explain what all of this means. Jess?
Jacqueline, Scott, as it stands right now, Florida takes away every man and woman's right who have convicted a felony. But a U.S. District Court judge says that that's constitutional. But they say, however, that what the state makes those ex-convicts do to get their right to vote back isn't.
All of us need a second chance.
When ex-convicts are released from jail, they're looking for that second chance in life. They struggle to find a job, a home, even food.
Most of them are just looking for that little bit of an open door to be able to get back in, to be a productive member of society, to have a purpose out there, to have good, honest work, and to be able to just kind of rebuild their lives.
The Salvation Army gives them that second chance. And now, thanks to a judge's ruling, the state will have to too.
An estimated 1.48 million folks in Florida have already finished their sentence, including parole, probation, and any supervised release, and they still cannot vote in Florida.
But John Sherman, senior counsel at Fair Elections Legal Network, has fought to change that. Now that a U.S. District Court judge has ruled in his favor, agreeing that the restoration process for a felon to get his or her right to vote back is unconstitutional. Sherman is working on a motion for a solution that will be submitted by February 12th.
The judge will decide that.
As the restoration process stands now, convicted felons have to wait 5 to 7 years after their sentence is completed. Then they can submit an application to the state government, and the Florida Executive Clemency Board will decide their fate.
And that board essentially has completely limitless discretion to decide whether or not to grant you your right to vote back.
It's a 4-person board that includes the governor and attorney general.
It's been made worse by the current administration, by Governor Scott's administration, but this process has been arbitrary and unconstitutional for a long time.
This is all happening ahead of November's election. It will be up to voters to decide whether or not ex-felons should automatically get their right to vote back after finishing a sentence. Now, what you'll see on the ballot in November does not apply to convicted sex offenders or murderers. Now, while these are two completely separate efforts, they have one goal in mind: to get the right to vote back for ex-felons. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Jess, thank you. North Port High remains restricted and under investigation after a bomb threat this morning. The school's principal says the threat was based on an anonymous message found in a bathroom stall. Students were evacuated from the school and held at the Morgan Center until parents were cleared to pick them up. Northport police say the high school again remains restricted until cleared, but again, students are no longer on campus. We will continue to bring you more information on this developing story as it becomes available.
And a police standoff in Northport ended peacefully today. Police say a man was found passed out in his mom's driveway. After it was discovered that he had a gun, the woman called police. That woman told police it was her son and he was not welcome at her home. When authorities arrived, the man was inside the home with his brother. It took a while for police to make contact with the men inside the home, and once they did, the two men eventually came out. The Northport Police Department is working to determine why the man was at the home and determine if he meant to cause any harm.
A 76-year-old Sarasota man is behind bars accused of threatening another driver with a weapon. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies responding to a road rage incident at the intersection of US 41 and Stickney Point Road in Sarasota. The victim says she changed lanes in front of the suspect, who then became angry and flipped his middle finger. She says the suspect got out of his car, waved a firearm, and then threatened her. Deputies say the suspect's blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. Harry Schuback is charged now with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and DUI. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies also arresting a 32-year-old Venice man for child pornography. Detectives learned a particular IP address was being used to download multiple files containing child porn. It was then linked to an address on Veneto Boulevard in Venice. Detectives say Dennis Pomeroy worked as a security guard at that location. They say files were found showing his personal computer was used to send child pornography. Pomeroy is charged with 1 felony count of transmission of obscene material. This investigation continues and additional charges are now pending.
Florida's fire marshal on the Suncoast today talking about a state bill that would help firefighters with post-traumatic stress disorder. Jimmy Patronis stopped at Fire Station Number 1 in Sarasota to advocate for a new policy. That policy would increase health benefits for firefighters diagnosed with PTSD and also allow them to receive workers' compensation. Currently, first responders are only eligible for workers' comp if they have physical injuries. Patronis says over 46% of first responders in the state have thought about suicide and 15% have attempted to take their life.
The calls that these brave men and women take every day don't always have positive outcomes, and so many times the outcomes are good, but when they're bad, they're really bad, and the compounding effect this has on these men and women takes their toll to lead to an exponentially higher suicide rate.
Patronis tells us the estimated impact of the increased benefits would be minimal to the state. Well, it is a beautiful evening to celebrate the first Friday of the month.
Yeah, sure is. Music on Main is getting ready to get underway on Main Street in Lakewood Ranch. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us live from there tonight with more. Bob?
I got to tell you, if we're going to see 6 more weeks of winter, this is the kind of winter I want to see right here. There were some shadows earlier, some clouds have moved in, but the temperature is still very comfortable here out at Lakewood, Lakewood Ranch, right here, Music on Main. We have the Lisa Ridings Band now getting ready to go. We'll be talking to Lisa here in a little bit. A lot of people already set up and looking forward to a great night of music right here, and comfortable conditions. We have blue skies looking out over the Main Street right there. Currently, we can see the conditions here at the Sarasota Brayton Airport. It's dropped just a little bit. The temperature down to 70. It's dropped about 4 degrees just in the last hour. The winds are rather light and the pressure is still high, and it looks as though we are going to continue to see generally partly cloudy skies overnight. Now, there is a weak frontal system coming our way, and the tower cam from Lakewood Ranch did show lots of sunshine around earlier today. That has since moved on a little bit. We have some clouds around now and again, and we're not looking for a real big cool down here with this front. In fact, the front's really weakening. We only expect a few clouds with it. We'll have much more on that front. And another one developing behind it. Rain chances, again, fairly high for Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but come on out. Music on Main, free concert right here. Lisa Ridings Band getting ready to perform. They're setting up, and you see there's a lot of people already set up, ready to go. Listen to the great music. It begins at 6 o'clock tonight and goes up until 9. All the proceeds of the beverages sold and some of the proceeds from some of the vendors here go to help Manatee PAL, which is Police Athletic League. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. Changes are on the way for the Venice Airport. Construction crews are removing 80-year-old concrete on the airport's ramp. This thick concrete has begun to crack in areas, and the airport worries it might become unsafe for airplanes. The $4.5 million project is largely funded by the FAA and partly by the City of Venice. The construction crews are also recycling that old concrete, breaking it up, and then using it as the base for the new ramps.
We're bringing that back in and using that for the base course under the new asphalt. So we're saving, not only are we recycling the concrete, but we're also saving environmentally by not trucking it away.
The ramp construction is expected to be complete in March.
Sarasota County has been named one of the best workplaces for commuters. The county is among a select group of workplaces in the United States that have committed to employee-provided commuter benefits. Those benefits have resulted in at least 14% of its employee base not driving alone to work within a 12-month period. Sarasota County offers several commuter benefit options, including free regular SCAT bus rides for all county employees, premier parking spaces, and free charging for electric vehicles, carpool incentives, the emergency ride home program for employees, and bicycle repair stations throughout the county. Certainly a good effort there to save some energy.
Seems to be working. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight. People across the country getting ready for Super Bowl weekend. We're going to talk to one Suncoast resident who has played twice in that big game.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast live from Music on Main. Plus, why doctors say attending a Super Bowl party is actually good for your mental health.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
You don't want to miss the annual Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. It is the largest orchid show on Florida's West Coast with thousands of blooming orchids on display and for sale. You'll also find orchid growing supplies, artwork, jewelry, accessories, and free classes. Make plans now to attend the Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. Go to vaos.org online for more details.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Carmina Burana in Motion. Carl Orff's choral masterpiece, Carmina Burana, bursts into life in this lavish production designed for 60 voices, 3 celebrated soloists, a 2-piano percussion ensemble, and dynamic premiere choreography performed by members of Sarasota Contemporary Dance. Do not miss this lush feast of the senses. Saturday, February 3rd, 4 p.m. at Church of the Palms in Sarasota. Tickets and info are at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 941-387-4900.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
We are just days away from Super Bowl Sunday with the reigning Super Bowl champs, the New England Patriots, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Both teams arrived in Minneapolis on Sunday and then Monday, and the city has been taken over since then by football madness. ABC's Maggie Rulli is outside US Bank Stadium, where all the action is set to take place on Sunday night.
I'm thinking about the Super Bowl and trying to win the most important game of the year.
We want it for the fans just as bad as they want it. So, you know, we're all in this together.
The players may be ready for game day, but is Minneapolis, the country's northernmost Super Bowl location, is bracing for more than 1 million visitors leading up to kickoff, and for temps that are 20 degrees below average, dipping down to the single digits even midday.
Hands are cold, your cheeks freeze.
Fans are spending from $3,000 to $22,000 on tickets.
Once in a lifetime, especially the Eagles are here, so have to do it.
Minneapolis Super Bowl planners say this is their chance to show off the city's Minnesota pride. 10,000 tickets for the Bold North Zipline already sold out. Kids are testing their football skills at NFL Experience. And local restaurants are churning out Super Bowl feasts, offering late hours, special discounts, and themed parties.
We've been talking about this for over a year with our employees, and I mean, yeah, this is going to be a moment we are going to look back and remember our whole lives.
Super Bowl planners say, on average, each person will spend nearly $2,500 while they're in town. As for the players, well, they just seem excited to be here.
I am feeling the superpowers right now. He said if I told anybody what kind of powers I had, they'd probably disappear.
State planners say they're used to handling this many people. Just last year, the Minnesota State Fair welcomed 2 million people in 12 days. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
One Suncoast resident has played in 2 of the big games. Steve Christie now lives in Lakewood Ranch. The place kicker is from Ontario. He attended college in Virginia and first played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Christie, though, is the leading scorer in Buffalo Bills history and 21st in NFL history. He kicked for the Bills in Super Bowls 27 and 28 back in the 1990s. Christie says he recalls how nervous he was playing the Dallas Cowboys in that 27th Super Bowl.
The first one I was in was at the Rose Bowl. I went to the bathroom 6 times. I was so nervous before the game. And then I just hope that, you know, after pregame warm-up and once you kick off and get in the game, it's just another game.
Christie says he's impressed by backup quarterback Nick Foles leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl, but he says Tom Brady is the best of all time and usually finds a way to win. Super Bowl 52 kicks off Sunday night at 6:30.
Universal Parks and former NFL quarterback Peyton Manning have teamed up for a new Super Bowl commercial, and one Suncoast 7th grader happens to star in it. Tori Bates lives in Sarasota and is an actress, singer, and dancer. She says she found out about the commercial through an email. She then traveled with her family to Orlando to audition and ended up finding out right away that she got the part. Tori says she really enjoyed getting to work with Peyton Manning.
He was just a really sweet person, and you could tell. We didn't really talk much because we had to get to work, obviously. A long day, but it was a very hard-working day, too. Swish and a flick.
Well, Tori hopes to
You're
continue her
uncoachable.
career as an actress and one day star in some movies on the big screen.
I'm sure she'll make it. It could be the coldest Super Bowl ever. Temperatures in the Midwest are below 0 in some areas. ABC's Ava Pilgrim is in Minneapolis with more.
This is expected to be the coldest Super Bowl ever. It is dangerously cold here, below 0 this morning. These Super Bowl Roman numerals, this ice sculpture here, having no trouble staying frozen. And they're actually very concerned about the weather. The hospital here has set up a whole extra wing just to deal with fans who may get frostbite. This Super Bowl live experience that they're having downtown here, this outdoor area for fans, they've set up warming benches, and you can see behind me there's actually a warming shelter for people to go into just to take the bite off the cold. And doctors are warning people, if you're going to be out here, make sure you dress appropriately. It doesn't take very much time for you to get frostbite. Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And you know, Scott, everything there looks like it's so much fun, but I don't know if I could handle that cold weather. I just don't know if I could.
Stay inside as much as you can. I'm sure all the fans are doing that.
Well, fortunately, that cold is not something we have to deal with here on the Suncoast.
Beautiful weather today.
Yes.
And continuing into tonight for Music on Main at Lakewood Ranch, let's get out back to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Thanks, Scott and Jacqueline. Talk about cold. Yes, indeed it is. And the groundhog saw shadows. That means 6 more weeks of winter. That's what we're looking forward to. And speaking of cold, this is Laura and George, right?
Yes.
Laura, George, and you guys are from Parrish, Florida.
Correct. Yes.
And you were talking about the cold. George just got back today. Where were you, George?
Up in Traverse City, Michigan.
How cold was it?
Well, I think the high yesterday was 8.
8 degrees. Can you believe 8 degrees?
And the wind was blowing.
Yeah, so that's about what?
I think we had about 6 inches of snow.
Oh, that's beautiful. How do you like it down here now?
I like this weather. I like this. I wasn't really too used to the cold. I got a little bit, you know, I turned into kind of a Florida wussy.
Yeah, Traverse City. Now, you are going to be working for Super Bowl. Who are you pulling for the Super Bowl?
Yes, I'm for the Patriots.
The Patriots, okay. Yes. And you are?
I like Tom Brady, but I like to see Philadelphia. I mean, the Patriots won it, what, 5-6 times?
I think the last time Philly won it was in 1960. They were there in 1960.
I'm pulling for the Lions. Are the Lions in it?
The Lions have never been in it, but hopefully they will. They got the defensive coach, right, next year or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to the weather now, okay? Well, here's a look at what's happening with us. Van Way's a webcam showing fair skies overhead. It looks nice and looks like much warmer than Traverse City.
Nice.
You see that water there up there in Traverse City? It's frozen.
Yeah.
Not here. It's moving at about 2-foot seas or less, and things are looking good. As far as our current conditions go, they are looking good too. We have generally fair skies to the west of us. There's some clouds moving in though. You can see that quite clearly from the satellite and radar imagery showing the rain to the north kind of weakening as it moves down to the south, and we're not anticipating anything too serious as far as that goes. Again, Groundhog Day, there it is. They weren't supposed to see a shadow but did. Again, it looks like 6 more weeks of winter, but we'll take it down here. We could take us 8 more weeks of winter, wouldn't be bad. maybe 10. I don't know. Let's keep going. Futurecast showing some clouds on the increase for Saturday. So look for a mixture of sun and clouds on Saturday. Still warm, though. There is a storm system developing once again in the northeast Gulf of Mexico, which will bring us a good chance for some showers. But it looks like later in the day, I have some tea time Sunday morning, so it should be okay. But Sunday afternoon, a different story as that system develops over the northeast Gulf of Mexico. The bulk of the heavy rainfall, though, will fall to our north. You'll see that line kind of moving on in. The evening planner looks like this. Temperatures down into the low 60s by 11 o'clock tonight. 70 right now. We have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, and the dew point temperature is at 57 degrees. The barometer 3014, and that is still high. Wednesday, we're looking ahead to Wednesday next week. That's about what it looks like, too. Temperatures in the low to mid 70. Here's the European forecast model showing a different scenario with that rain coming in a little earlier. George, take care. They're going to go have the 84th birthday for someone's...
Yes, George's father.
There you go. Happy birthday. They're going to Trattoria Restaurant, heading down there right now. Anyway, the European model showing that rain kind of moving in on Sunday and bringing a good chance for showers. Let's get to the 7-day forecast and show you what's happening. Well, there it is. We are looking at a 70% chance for showers late Sunday and Sunday night. And then just gorgeous weather happening on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we got the bird here. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. I said a bird, bird, bird. A bird is the word. How you doing? Good? You're doing well. You're waiting for the big spring training to start, which is coming up pretty soon. I'm sure Norm Schimmel will be there. Norm! Anyway, back to you guys.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. Let's check first alert traffic right now. If you're heading out to Anna Maria Island this evening, we're seeing a lot of traffic out there tonight. Most of it heading north along the island up towards the Cortez Bridge. Slow going right near Bradenton Beach. Jacqueline?
In health news tonight, Americans eat more food on Super Bowl Sunday than any other day of the year except Thanksgiving. Here's James Denan with some food tips to keep your party going in today's Health Minute.
Super Bowl Sundays are full of fun, food, friends, and football. But they can also be full of germs that you don't want to pass around. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggests tackling that buffet table at your party so food poisoning doesn't ruin the fun. Make sure it's clean and not contaminated with old food that could contain bacteria. Wash your hands and cutting boards. Keep foods such as raw chicken, hamburger meats, and hot dogs away from one another to avoid cross-contamination. And cook everything well. Make sure chicken wings reach a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit and that any ground beef items reaches 160 degrees. As far as those cold foods go, keep them cool. Use small servicing trays or bowls of ice to keep salsa and guacamole around 40 degrees or cooler. For today's Health Minute, I'm James Dinan.
And for those who may not be the biggest football fans on the block, Cleveland Clinic's Scott B. says there's more to the event than just sports. He says a big get-together this time of year can help us get our minds away from the winter gloom. In addition to helping our mood, the Super Bowl is also a bonding experience. After the holiday season, the event gives us another excuse to get together again with family and friends, which is good for our brain chemistry. And we all know some people who tune in just for those commercials. Dr. B says advertisers like to play to our emotions, particularly with humor, because our brains like that experience. Well, coming up, President Trump authorizes the release of a controversial Republican memo, why it's now sparking a political firestorm. And a victim's father in the Larry Nassar trial causes a scene in the courtroom, what he had to say to the convicted sex offender.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions. Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
President Trump authorizing the release of a highly controversial Republican memo on the Russia investigation, alleging surveillance abuses by the FBI. The 4-page document alleges abuse in the surveillance of a former advisor to President Trump in an attempt to challenge the impartiality of the Russia investigation. The memo was released over objections from the Justice Department and the FBI, which had, quote, grave concerns about the document's accuracy. President Trump calling it a disgrace.
What's going on in this country, I think it's a disgrace. The memo was sent to Congress. It was declassified. Congress will do whatever they're going to do. But I think it's a disgrace what's happening in our country.
The president refuses to say whether he will fire the top Justice Department official who is overseeing the probe.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 2.5% or 665 points today. It was the worst day for stocks since President Trump took office. The market is heading for its biggest weekly drop in 2 years. Weak earnings from several giant U.S. companies, including Exxon, Mobil, and Alphabet, Google's parent company, further dented investors' confidence.
The father of 3 daughters abused by convicted sexual predator Larry Nassar tried to attack him in a Michigan courtroom today. Nassar, a former USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University doctor, is facing sentencing for using his position to sexually abuse patients. Hundreds of women have come forward with details of the abuse. Randall Margraves, the father of 3 of those victims, asked the judge for 1 minute in a room with Nassar and then lunged towards him.
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system works.
Nassar, who has already received lengthy sentences in previous trials, will spend the rest of his life in prison. The father, though, will not face any charges because of that. In a California courtroom today, a man convicted of a double murder in Long Beach causes a scene in court after refusing to listen to the victim impact statements. 23-year-old Brandon Colbert Jr. was brought down to the ground after he tried to stand up. The courtroom was then cleared. Colbert was convicted of killing a woman and her 4-year-old daughter back in 2016. The family was returning home from the grocery store when Colbert shot them. He's facing life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Still to come on your Suncoast News, the Bradenton area River Regatta returns this weekend. Why organizers say it could be the best year yet.
And the Baltimore Orioles moving back into the Ed Smith Stadium complex this morning. Now the stadium and facilities there are getting prepared for opening day.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You don't want to miss the annual Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. It is the largest orchid show on Florida's West Coast with thousands of blooming orchids on display and for sale. You'll also find orchid growing supplies, artwork, jewelry, accessories, and free classes. Make plans now to attend the Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. Go to vaos.org online for more details.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, good. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.